If veterans decidedly go one way in this election, it is over. And while there are many pundits over at CNN saying that the stolen valor story, that's going to blow over, none of these suits went to war. The issue will dominate his caricature and could cost Democrats the election. I'm here for it. Tommy Marquez, Navy veteran, founder of VeteransForTrump2024.com, and McLaughlin and Associates pollster John McLaughlin. All right, so Tommy, let's talk about the Biden-Harris campaign and how, they've handled veterans issues have been really bizarre.
Yeah, I think in this situation for Governor Walz, he's actually hoping that people focus on the stolen valor issue because his legislative record towards veterans is horrible. The state of Minnesota has less benefits and worse benefits for veterans than communist California. So it's just completely ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. But John, we see these polls and we see these numbers. I mean, 600,000 veterans per battleground state. I mean, that's election changing.
By the way, the focus group you were talking about, that's not my focus group.
No.
Focus groups I got, I mean, they're saying we ought to hammer this. Let me tell you this. You've got, when you add the heroes, what we call the hero households, you've got veteran households, you've got police, you've got firefighters, volunteer firefighters, you've got nurses, put them all together, they're half the vote. And they always vote more likely in favor of Trump. So we're going to play these issues. And he's got a lot of questions to answer because, it's one of those things where if he voted wrong on veterans issues, why? Because he's so radical.
Yeah, and the other thing, Tommy, that's happening like right now is the VA could be $15 billion short of the money it needs to pay benefits and healthcare costs. Officials needing a $2.9 billion this year alone. Now, officials are blaming the increased claims under the PACT Act and stuff like this. But keep in mind, the Harris-Biden administration rehired 8,000 fired people.
Yeah, it's abysmal to me that these people at the leadership of the VA are still allowed to be in those jobs. And that's the concern. The Harris-Biden administration, they are so weak. And then to put in a candidate, and if these things are even remotely true, and I know for sure he didn't carry a gun in a war, and I know for sure he was demoted. And if any of the other stuff is true, that tells me this is a person who's not qualified to run for vice president. And he should step down, if any of it's true, and allow Vice President Harris to have a running mate who represents veterans better than him.
I mean, the fact that the Biden-Harris administration, the Harris-Biden administration didn't get it right, and now there's a shortfall that may cost veterans their disability benefits in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a crisis. And that's something that the mainstream media won't talk about. You're like one of the first to talk about it.
Tommy, John, we got to leave it right there.